Okay, sir. Congratulations on joining our new dating website. I just need to ask you a few questions. So, your name is Mr. Apocalypse?
I am Apocalypse.
Apocalypse. What does the A stand for? Alan? Is it Alan? You look like an Alan. Anyway, just need to confirm, are you gay, straight, or bisexual?
I am as far beyond mutants as they are beyond you. I am eternal. I am the rocks of the eternal shore. Crush against me and be broken. I am Apocalypse. Look upon the future and tremble.
I'm just gonna put Pan. Pan seems to be the catch-all these days. Everyone's Pan.
There's a new street fighter on your windowsill. The weapon is peace. The word is chill.
Hello there, gang, and welcome to another episode of Displaying Model Behavior. And it is summertime, and the living is anything but easy. Because this room that I do all of these shows from is an attic room, which means that the heat rises, which means that I am baking to death in here. So I apologize if, gosh, for about the next 3 months, most of these shows are going to have me looking like a sweaty Betty. But it is what it is.
Also, state of your tan line, mate.
Also, it's summertime and the living is anything but easy is an opening line from a WWF pay-per-view from the 90s. No prize if you can tell me which one it is. Anyway, we are going to do something quite fun today. We are going to play with our toys. Because that's something that we don't really do too much as collectors, but oh my goodness, what is a toy if not something to be played with? And I've got a fun way of doing this. I'm glancing down here very unprofessionally because I've got some figures surrounding me. See if you can tell me what the common thread is between Sunfire right here. Also, just while I'm holding up Sunfire, look at Sunfire. Isn't this beautiful? Such a gorgeous figure. So Sunfire, the Hulk. This is the, which one is this? This is the San Diego Comic-Con Hulk, easy for me to say. Caliban, and finally, and this will be the one that gives it away, ho ho ho, Evil Archangel. Thanks, Caliban. Yes, of course, they are all Horsemen of Apocalypse. Sorry, a bit windy. Or at least they have been Horsemen of Apocalypse in the past, and that got me thinking. Who or what else in my action figure collection would make badass Horsemen of Apocalypse? And actually, I kind of got ahead of myself there. I said these guys got me thinking that question. That was a lie, I was just riffing. What got me thinking that question was I saw some toy reviews of, the name escapes me, but I'll add a clip so you can see what it is. But anyway, a toy manufacturer are making like medieval knights and sorcery type figures. I think it was probably like a tie into some online role-playing game or some nerd stuff like that. Either way, they are making the 4 Horsemen of Apocalypse, and oh me meow! They look incredible, like fiery demon guys on horseback. They look amazing, incredibly expensive. Because when I saw the review, I thought, oh yes, these guys could be Horsemen of Apocalypse. And then I saw the price and I was like, nah, I'm good. And then I figured, I'm surrounded by action figures. Who in this collection could I use for like my own Horsemen of Apocalypse? And then it hit me. I just bought a whole ton of Spawn figures. Oh my goodness. The Spawn designs are perfect Horsemen of Apocalypse type designs because they're kind of like cyber but gothic, kind of tech-noir kind of thing. Because that's the thing, when you notice, whenever Apocalypse makes someone a horseman, at least in like the 90s and 2000s comics, they kind of give them, he gives them a kind of a cybernetic but sort of, you know, shadowy kind of makeover. It's really cool. So these Spawn figures, just, all of them look like Horsemen of Apocalypse, but which ones are the perfect Horsemen of Apocalypse? So before I sweat to death, let's take a look at what Spawn figures would make the perfect Horsemen of Apocalypse. So first up, here we have the Curse of Spawn. And this guy, instantly, I just think, Horsemen of Apocalypse. I think it was this character, this design that made me think, you know what? This could be a thing. Just look at this guy. The wonderful combination of kind of techno-organics going on here. Exactly what Apocalypse always seems to be about when he's making new horsemen. It's that kind of twisted melding of science and biology. And this guy just personifies what I would expect of that. You've got this kind of cybernetic hand here and the brilliant, looks like Mean Machine from Judge Dredd, kind of blade, hook, saw hand, especially with this maniacal grin right here. Such a cool, awesome figure. With the big boots as well that just scream 90s. You can totally picture this guy, boom, at Apocalypse right-hand side there. So this is a very strong contender starting out. Curse of Spawn, I think it is Curse of Spawn 3, I'm pretty sure. And of course, this has kind of a Grim Reaper sort of vibe, especially with the hood as well. So Horsemen of Death, yeah, I think there's a lot of potential with this guy. Now we have Lady Spawn, who is a really cool stylized kind of figure. My only trouble with this one is that it looks a little bit too much like Spawn. And that's kind of the thing, you know, you don't want, if you're gonna have random Horsemen of Apocalypse, you don't want something that screams, I'm actually a character from a different comic series. And that's where this kind of iconic looking sort of white eyes with the green in the center, that is Spawn. So when I see her, I think, you can't really fudge the imagination. This is clearly a McFarlane Image Spawn creation, but still, what an awesome figure it is. I'm not gonna linger on her too long because I think I've kind of made my decision. Because also, like, she doesn't scream Horseman of Apocalypse either. I mean, she totally could be, but at the same time, I think there are other better contenders. Still, I love the little bit of hair on the back there. Really good figure. Sold it on eBay for not much money. Kind of annoyed about that, but there you go. Sometimes you win with eBay, sometimes you lose. But I'm gonna be packing her up soon. But either way, Lady Spawn, cool figure, but maybe not Horseman material. Now then, Spawn the Raven. This guy is more Horseman of Apocalypse material. Especially, again, you've got the sickle here. I mean, come on. The Grim Reaper, Horseman of Death, easy. The only problem is, again, kind of like Lady Spawn, is a bit too recognizable. A bit too recognizable as Spawn. You've got the red with the white design. I think, yeah, when I see this at a glance, it's like, yeah, it's Spawn, especially with the big red cape as well. So again, it's a really cool figure. I love kind of like the feathery sort of effect there. He does look like a evil, scary, skeleton birdman type creature. So very badass and great for a Spawn figure, but for a Horseman of Apocalypse, even though he does look pretty good at Apocalypse's side, I don't really see him necessarily as a horseman. Now then, Pirate Spawn. This figure I'm not going to dwell on too long because he's a lot of fun as an action figure. Well, more of an action figure statue, but at the same time, there's nothing really horseman-y about him, I don't think. Again, I love that techno-organic kind of look, whereas this is just a classic seafaring pirate zombie. So even though he's kind of cool, I don't feel he really fits with the Apocalypse aesthetic. So yeah, nice one, but not one for a horseman. Now we've got the second Raven Spawn. I'm not sure which one came out first, but there are two Raven Spawns, and this one is every bit as mean and nasty and gnarly as the other. In fact, the two of them together would look great either side, kind of flanking Apocalypse. So you can have sort of either one over here. That's a pretty impressive lineup. But again, this dude, a bit too spawny. So maybe that would put him out of the running, and instead we would have Raven Spawn. So actually there's a good chance might go for this guy, because totally this is another Horseman of Death. So the only problem is we do have a potential Horseman of Death with the Curse of Spawn, but this guy, he does look Grim Reaperish as well with the skeleton face. But with that in mind, skeleton, pestilence maybe? We have famine and war as well, so there's a lot of different characters we could go for. But this guy, I think, really is in the running to be a potential four horseman. Again, nothing very sort of techno about him, but at the same time, brilliantly gothic and mean looking. Now we got ourselves the other Curse of Spawn figure. And this one, we're getting more Age of Apocalypse, Horsemen of Apocalypse type thing here, especially again with the skull. Here, I'm thinking war, especially we got the blue. We got the matching blues as well. That kind of goes very apocalypse-y. And this reminds me of when Wolverine was a Horseman of Apocalypse. I think he was war as well. There's a bit of a mystery. They had a comic series or an episode or an issue, that's what I was trying to think of, where Wolverine gets killed and then he turns into a Skrull. And it's like, oh shoot, well if that's a Skrull, then where's Wolverine? And he was behind the mask of the Horseman of Death. Very cool. So here he is. The only problem is, like, I feel maybe a bit too rustic. You know, I want something that looks a little bit more futuristic. You know how Warren Worthington got the metallic wings and, you know, he tends to like soup people up, whereas this looks a bit more kind of old school barbarian. So he's good and has good potential for war. So there could be something here. In fact, I'm going to put him here as a potential war. I'm going to put Raven over here as potential death. And then also I am going to put Curse over here as, let's see, we got war, death. Ooh, see, two potential death ones. I think maybe these guys might have to battle it out to decide which one's going to be death. Speaking of death though, oh my god! I forgot I even had this guy. All right, stop counting the votes. It's decided. We have found death. How much more perfect could you get? Talk about an apocalypse horseman. What do I always look for? A souped up, stitched together version of a previous hero. And that is what we've got here. This is a classic, disgusting Frankenstein's monster type design. Exactly what you would expect from a resurrected apocalypse horseman. Plus, he carries a scythe. I mean, come on. What more could you want for death? He even is, you know, it's a skull face. He has a skull face and he's carrying a scythe. No question. This dude, absolutely 100%. He's Reanimated Spawn is his name. And absolutely Wrecking Fools is his game. So I am going to remove Raven Spawn. I'm sorry, Raven Spawn, you've been voted off the island. And I'm gonna reposition these guys because, oh my goodness. Reanimated Spawn. I'm laughing because I kind of forgot that I owned him, and then I saw him on the shelf and I was like, oh my god, he's perfect. So look at that. We've got Reanimated Spawn as death, and then I really want to include Curse of Spawn, but I'm not sure which one he'll be. Maybe War, we'll see. But then again, this guy's War. It's tough, but I gotta be cruel. So actually, I'm gonna take this guy out of the running as War because, oh my goodness, I think I know who War's gonna be. To quote Judge Dredd, we're going to war. Oh yeah, we found him. Overt Kill. Such a silly name that I actually really love. Not overkill, but overt kill. As if you're killing overtly. You're not killing subtly. And this guy, there is nothing subtle about him. And again, talk about a perfect combination of all the horseman elements. A human type figure that has been disgustingly twisted and upgraded with technology and Frankenstein sort of parts. Overkill is just absolutely perfect for this agenda. So, oh my goodness, 100% Overkill is definitely my god horseman of war. Look at this dude. I love the evil grin, the cybernetics. Man, I'm so pumped for this dude. 100%. I feel this team coming together now. So we're gonna put, if he can even fit on the screen, there we go. We've got the horseman really, let me angle the cameras a bit more. There we go. This horseman team's really coming together. Now for Pestilence. I've got an interesting one for Pestilence. How about the Heap? Is this not like the most pestilence-ridden looking thing you can imagine? So gross and gnarly. I really love this figure. Basically a giant trash monster. Reminds me of the Golgothan demon from Dogma, if you've seen that Kevin Smith film. If you haven't, you should, it's good fun. But yeah, I think, look, you've got the skeletons and the skulls and the bones. This looks like a walking virus infection, just nastiness. goofiness. So yeah, I think for Pestilence, this is great. My only problem though is that he's almost too monstrous. He's almost too disgusting. Like Apocalypse Horseman should look kind of cool and kind of badass, whereas this is just so gross. He's great, but I don't know, maybe we can do better for Pestilence. All right, how about this for Pestilence? The Creech. Here we go. I think we've nailed it. This is more Pestilence to me in a Horsemen of Apocalypse kind of way. Let's move the heap out of the way and we'll bring in the Creech. And especially with Pestilence, you think like viruses and disease and like these kind of dreadlock sort of tendrils coming off the back of his head. This makes me think of like a virus kind of infecting things. And then you throw onto that the big technological cybernetic gloves here with the lasers coming off, the big boots. Again, I think the Creech actually is a lab scientist experiment. I think he's made out of aborted fetuses or something. There's such edgelord stuff from McFarlane. Although I'm not sure if McFarlane even created the Creech. I don't think he did. I think it was Greg Capullo. Anyway, I digress. The Creech, absolutely awesome. Perfect for Pestilence, but is he perfect for the Creech? Huh? You're wondering what I mean? I'll tell you what I mean. We have another Creech option. We have the Deluxe Creech, and yeah, I think that kind of made the decision right there. This Creech is fantastic, but this one just raises the game to a whole other level. Let's take a look at the Deluxe Creech. It's everything that the first one had, but just more so. Look at the more, you know, screaming out underneath there. He's got the sleeve ripped away so that you can see more of the organic meeting, like the flesh and the cybernetics coming together. The guns are more detailed with, you can see the articulation and the joints in the cybernetic hands. This Creech right here is the ultimate Creech. Again, he's got the tendrils that look kind of like infection, sort of parasitic kind of stuff here. Actually reminds me of the Jazz from the Mighty Boosh, if you've seen that, where he infects people. It's a very obscure English show, but if you haven't seen it, you should do. It's great. But yeah, this Creech is amazing. So I think we might have our 4 horsemen, ladies and gents, but we got to decide who's who. So let's see, if we move these across here, there's a couple of easy ones and a couple of trickier ones to get. So first of all, we clearly have the Horsemen of Death, reanimated spawn, easy. Then we've got Horsemen of War, Horsemen of Pestilence here, which then of course will make Curse of Spawn Famine, which also kind of works. Granted, reanimated spawn could totally be Famine as well, with the skeleton and the skinny arms, but he just screams Grim Reaper, so he's got to be Death. But this guy is kind of skeletal as well, with his grinning sort of skeleton smile there. So that right there is our Famine. So, whew, oh mignon. Apocalypse sat back there, has got his henchmen well and truly sorted, and we have our Todd McFarlane Spawn-inspired Horsemen of Apocalypse. This is a bit of a crazy, goofy, wacky sort of video, but I thought, you know, why not go outside the box a little bit? You've got toys, you've got action figures, use them as action figures. Mix things up, play around, and have fun. So guys, there you go. That is my makeshift, thrown together Horsemen of Apocalypse. And guys, that was my Spawn-themed Horsemen of Apocalypse. I hope you enjoyed that. It was something a little bit different, a little bit outside the box, but hey, it's fun to mix things up sometimes. Coming up soon on the channel, we have Spider-Man in the 70s and 80s, doing a team building for that era. So we'll be including a lot of the characters that were missed out from the retro wave. Also, coming up on the show, we have the worst Marvel Legends ever made, but also we have reasons why I bloody love Hasbro. Gotta have the balance there. Also, we're gonna have a list of the top good brother rules for being toy collectors and all other things in between. So guys, if you're enjoying the action figure content, then keep it clicked right here to displaying model behavior. And with that in mind, if you really enjoyed the show, then please join the 6-1 Clicks by clicking the like, share, and subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that notification bell either. So thanks very much for watching, and until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
Cheers.